The storm came in without warning, an iron-gray wall of clouds rolling over the ridge like a living thing. By the time Detective Mara Ellison reached the abandoned observatory, the wind had twisted the surrounding pines into silhouettes that looked uncomfortably human. She stepped out of the car, boots sinking into damp earth, and the air carried the scent of ozone, rust, and something older, like forgotten stone. The observatory dome loomed above her, a hollow metal skull atop the hill. Inside, the dust felt alive in the beam of her flashlight. Old research logs lay scattered across the cracked tile floor, pages curled like dead leaves. She'd been sent because of the emergency broadcast, 9 seconds of audio that hijacked every radio frequency in the county. It didn't sound like a message. It sounded like breathing. Slow. Mechanical. Wrong. Then a distorted whisper. Not alone. The signal source traced back here. Her radio crackled as she moved deeper inside. For a moment it wasn't static she heard. It was the same breathing, threading through the frequency in perfect rhythm with her own heartbeat. She tapped the device twice, and the sound abruptly cut. Interference, she muttered. But she didn't believe it. A faint metallic screech echoed from above. She climbed the staircase, each step moaning beneath her weight. When she reached the dome, she felt a heaviness in the air, as if the atmosphere itself were thickening. The stars should have been visible through the half-open slit in the ceiling, but darkness pressed in instead, dense, shapeless, depthless. Then she saw the telescope. It had been rotated fully downward, aimed not at the sky but at the metal floor, as though observing something inches below the steel. The lens housing throbbed faintly, like it was still warm from use. She leaned close and heard the soft murmur of electricity. But the building had no power. Not for years. As she touched the telescope, her fingertip tingled violently. A flicker crawled across the lens, an image too fast to recognize. But she felt it more than she saw it. A face, distorted, stretched by angles that didn't belong to any human skull. Her breath caught. She stumbled back. The floor vibrated. A distant rose from beneath the observatory, like thousands of whispering voices hidden under concrete. Mara followed the sound to a hatch partially concealed beneath an overturned crate. Rust flaked away as she forced it open. A gust of cold air shot up from the darkness, carrying with it the faint echo of footsteps, though the cadence was wrong, too smooth, too consistent, like a recording on loop. She descended. The underground chamber was larger than the observatory itself, lined with outdated servers and humming relay towers. Lights blinked erratically, some warm, some impossibly cold, casting shadows that bent in directions that defied the single source of illumination. At the center stood an enormous circular device, its surface mirror-like, but the reflection didn't match her movements. It lagged behind, observing her with a delay, as if something on the other side needed time to mimic her shape. A whisper seeped from the device, forming the same phrase she heard in the broadcast, "Not alone." Then the reflection smiled, but she didn't. The mirrored figure raised its hand slowly, palm facing her, fingers splaying like they were learning the shape. Lines of static rippled across its form, and each distortion made her skin crawl. The air vibrated with a low tone, subsonic, nauseating, nearly paralyzing. She tried to step back, but her legs felt heavy, tethered by the pulse of the machine. The reflection leaned closer to the glass surface until its forehead touched the barrier. The metal around the device groaned as if under pressure. Something was pushing from the other side. Mara forced herself to move, tearing her gaze away long enough to see a nearby terminal flickering with code. Lines repeating endlessly. Local node accepts sequence reader transference pending. Her breath hitched. This wasn't a mirror. It was an entry point. The intensified. The glass surface bulged outward as though something behind it was pressing to emerge. The reflection's smile widened unnaturally. Its hand began to push through the surface, the glass rippling around it like liquid metal. When the fingertips pierced the air, the lights across the chamber erupted into a chaotic strobe, and the servers began to scream. High-pitched, metallic, tortured. Mara stumbled backward and slammed her hand on the nearest emergency breaker. Sparks exploded. The entire facility shuddered. The machine let out a deep, guttural roar as its lights flickered violently. The protruding hand snapped back into the surface as the device collapsed into darkness. Silence swallowed the room. Only the emergency lights flickered now, soft red, pulsing like a heartbeat. Mara's own reflection appeared once again on the blackened surface of the device, lifeless and still. She turned to leave, forcing herself up the metal staircase, lungs burning, heart pounding in her ears. But as she reached the observatory entrance, her radio crackled again. A breath, then her own voice whispered back to her, "You shouldn't have closed it." She froze. The voice continued, softer, closer, like someone standing just behind her. It found the signal. The last light in the observatory flickered out, and in the darkness, something breathed,